And here we are in Torrejón de Ardoz. We're not too far from Madrid. As you can see, they have an overground station here. I actually took the 224 bus from Avenida de America all the way to here. Super easy, like 25 minutes, and here we are. I believe this is what they call their Plaza de España, or the Spanish Square. Of course, they are all over Spain, and we have a main one in Madrid. You can see that it feels more like a town than it does a city. I honestly have no idea what we're going to find here, so I'm just going to have a wander around and see what we can find. Just to point out that we're still in Comunidad de Madrid, or the Community of Madrid, hence why we have these green buses here, and that's how I got here. So the green buses, you actually have to pay an additional amount in order to get on them, depending on the zone that they're at. So the zone we're in right now is B2. But there's a few places that I found online that seem interesting here, so we're going to head for those attractions. It appears to be about half an hour walk to our first destination. I only arrived at about 1:30, so I hope I've got plenty of time to see everything here and get the bus back. Worst case scenario, I can also get the overground train. We have about 15 minutes until we arrive at our first location. Just thought I'd give you a quick update. There hasn't been much to see on the way. I've seen some small local parks, but apart from that, nothing really for tourists to see. It feels like the kind of place you would need a car. The thing is, at this time of year, we're now in October, I would presume that it would be a lot cooler, and of course it is. The temperature's in its low 30s, but that doesn't mean that it's cold here, you know? Not like the UK. And I did something very stupid today. I forgot my sun cream. So can I just point out that there are some absolutely lovely residential areas around here. I wouldn't necessarily say there's much for tourists from what I've seen so far. There seems to be lovely little bars, lots of shops. I could certainly see myself living in a residential area just like this. We have actually made it to our first location. Unfortunately, I can't seem to find the entrance. So this gate going all the way along is blocking us from seeing the sights. So I'm going to walk down this way, but equally it could be that way. I have no idea. I'm hoping if I get to the top here, there should be an entrance. Let's see. Oh yes, I almost forgot to mention a little souvenir that I got from Venezuela is this new hat. It's absolutely fantastic. Look at it. I said to myself I really wanted to get either a Venezuelan football top or a Venezuelan hat while I was in Venezuela. And very kindly, my friend's dad gave it to me as a present, which is really, really nice. So if he's watching this video, thank you so much. And here we are, our first location, Parque Europa. Let's go see. Very close to the entrance, you have this food store here. So if you need to get some food and drink, you can buy some here. Of course, the prices are a little bit higher because it's a tourist hotspot, which makes sense. I'm actually surprised they don't charge anything to enter this park. It's actually super beautiful. It's well maintained. And apparently there's some great sights to see. So I'm going to keep exploring and see what we can find as we go. How very creative. I bet you they're difficult to maintain. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. You can enter the park for free, but if you want to go to any of the attractions, you have to pay to go in those. I'm glad to see that they've got these taps here. I mean, I have my big bottle of water on me, but it's always a concern when it's hot that if you run out of water, what do? They've thought of that too, which is good. A while back, I made a vlog and walking tour of London. Just found out I didn't even need to travel that far. We've got one right here in Comunidad de Madrid. So this to me looks as though it's a replica of Tower Bridge. Of course, Tower Bridge is a little bit bigger. So as you can see, it says Puente de la Torre de Londres. So this is the Tower of London, or a replica of it at least. But it's cool to see how much detail they've put into this small replica. One thing I have noticed, I haven't seen many benches anywhere. I could really do with a bench right now. I want to have a drink of water water, but the grass seems to be wet, which makes sense, right? The reason why it's so green is because they're regularly watering it, but no good for me. I need to sit down somewhere. And we found a bench, finally. I'm gonna sit down, have a drink, and then we will continue with this video. I've had my drink of water, and let's see what else we can find. It seems as though the purpose of that maze is for laser tag. We're not taking the optimal walking path here. I'm kind of just wandering around, so we might be walking past things I've already seen. But that's absolutely fine. That's what this journey is about. So far, I've been incredibly impressed. But what we're going to do is walk up here, and we get to a little crossways where we can go straight forward, right or left. We're going to turn left, back across the Tower of London, and then we're going to bear round to the left. I can see there's a few things here in the background that look quite interesting. So let's get a close-up. Okay, I lied. I said I was going to turn left. We're not going to do that. We're going to go straight. And the reason why, it seems to be a replica of Plaza Mayor. So I'm quite interested to see that. And I can see a restaurant here too. Not that I'm going to necessarily eat here, but it's good to know that they've got restaurants here as well. And if you guys are visiting here, you can get some food while you're here. And it's not just a stall, it's a proper restaurant. And as you can see, it's quite a busy restaurant. Behind me, you can see that there's loads of people in here, so the restaurant must be good. But the environment's very nice as well. Like I said, they've got these replicas here, which are very beautiful. Once again, we're going back on ourselves. I'm going to make my way down this stairway, and then we're actually going to go left and have a look at this little bit at the bottom before coming back this way. I feel like a kid in a candy store, you know? There's so much to see. There's so many things that like, this is amazing. I like this. But it's also just nice to be in a new place, you know? And that's where this idea came from. Was, if I'm honest, I feel like I've done Madrid to death now. But then I realized that all I've done is the city. So it's not just the city I'm looking at. I also want to look at the communities around the outside. So we're still in Avenida de Madrid, but it's not in the center, right? So we're in like a town. Okay, so now that we've been to whatever this is supposed to be, we're gonna safely make our way down and continue along here. Hey, this is the road we were walking down before where I said I could definitely see myself living here. We are not a political channel, but it's still sad to see we have a sea of blue here for European Union, and Reino Unido, which is United Kingdom, is, as you can see, in brown. It has been a very long time since I studied chemistry, but assuming the one in the middle is the nucleus and there's 8 electrons around the outside, I would say that's oxygen. Those who study chemistry, correct me in the comments. I'll be honest, I would have left a while ago. However, I saw online that they have the Eiffel Tower here and I can't find it anywhere. And it's frustrating me because I've seen everything else except for the Eiffel Tower, it seems. So I think what I'm going to do is get my phone out, search for this Eiffel Tower, go and have a look, be amazed by it, of course. And then after that, we're getting out of here. I must admit that's very impressive. And our next destination takes us all the way to Paris, to the Eiffel Tower. They have put it in the furthest away location, it seems. That brings us to the end of this park, and now I just need to figure out how to get out of here. I'm sure that'll be an easy task. And on to our next location. Our next destination requires us to walk down this road that you see behind me. The problem is we need to leave this park first before walking back down that road. It's exactly the problem we had when we arrived, that to get to the entrance you have to go to the northern point. So that's where we're heading to now, and then we have to walk back on ourselves. It's funny, 25 minutes of this journey has been me walking basically from the Eiffel Tower out of the park and back round. So as you can see, I'm very close to where the Eiffel Tower is now, but on the other side of the gate. In fact, where I was taking pictures of the flowers just before, I can see that from here. That's crazy. All they need is one gate here and that would have been so much easier. Also, the reason I'm holding this in my hand is because I've been recording quite a lot and my camera is slightly low on battery. Normally I have a backup battery with me, but of course, as always, I've forgotten that as well. So I have this with me to charge my phone, and it can also charge my camera. So we're using that for the time being. So when I'm not recording, I am charging. As you can see, we have a roundabout behind me. Here we have just like a random dirt track, and there is actually a river that goes along here. You can't see the river from here, but I can see it on the maps. Now this is the thing, it wants me to walk down this road. There is no path there, and I don't particularly like how thin the roads are with those cars going past. So I'm gonna pass on that. We're going to move on to our next destination from where we are here. We're not going that way. Bearing in mind that takes us further away as well from our final destination, which will be the train station. The destination we were going to go to was the castle. Of course, if you have a car, it's very easy for you to get there, and maybe it's worth you checking out. However, I'm on foot. I've been walking for quite a while now, and so I'm going to move on from the castle, and we are heading back into the town, which is fantastic for me. It's in the right location, but there's also some more attractions to see. So let's go. Vámonos. I have been walking for about 15-20 minutes now. I walked past a massive supermarket, and actually I walked past a Burger King that looked more like for people who were driving through, just on a massive road, nothing really to see. All in all, this is an incredibly long walk. My legs are starting to ache now. So if there's a lesson learned here, that is, if you're going to visit this place, you need a car. You need a car. There's no doubt about it. And here we are in Plaza Mayor. As you can see behind us, we have the church, and I have tried to practice this multiple times and I keep getting it wrong. So bear with me. This is Parroquia San Juan Evangelista. Yeah, I think that's right. Which actually stands for St. John or San Juan Evangelist Parish. It's a very long name, very difficult to say for people who are still learning their Spanish. And as you can see right at the top here, we have a bird's nest. But it's a very beautiful church, and here is the plaza. The square, the main square here. You can see it's almost got like a concert thing just here. There's a few people dotted around, relaxing in the shade. Not me, walking around of course. And there's a few bars as well. And this seems to be like the main hub, and I can imagine this picks up a lot during the evening time. And I think on that note, we are going to conclude our journey for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Okay, so I made a schoolboy error. I came to this bar, ordered a drink, said, can I have the menu food? They said, we're not doing food right now, but you can order tapas if you want. It's incredibly expensive. And worst of all, just next door is 100 Monteritos. So I could have just grabbed something from there. So I have myself a non-alcoholic beer. Very nice. I'm going to finish this, and then I am going to head to 100 Monteritos, which is the equivalent to Wetherspoons in the UK, and get myself some calamares. That's the plan. So I just left 100 montaditos. They don't have any calamares today. I need food. I'm so hungry. It's like 6 o'clock. I haven't had any lunch. So yeah,